Hi, my name is Jeff Wilson. I'm a mixed digital media artist. 12 years ago, I gave a presentation at South by Southwest on technology and the future of fine art. In fact, I made this piece for that session specifically and had it hung down the road at a coffee shop. This work is very representative of my work at the time. It was my style for maybe a good 10 years or so. It's what I refer to as a digital woodcut. It has a look and feel and texture of old school physical prints, but at the same time, the entire thing is done completely on the computer. In fact, the QR code that's fashioned like a Asian signature stamp is integral to that work. Blending the physical and the digital world, being able to sort of incorporate provenance information about the piece, other kinds of experiences are linked through that. But over the last few years, I think for everyone, the world has changed. That coffee shop in particular that I hung this piece at, it unfortunately died during the pandemic. For me, my art saw a complete rebirth when it came down to it. We had things like NFTs coming out, other technologies that were just blossoming. All kinds of technical tools were made available to artists, and we started to see quite a lot more really interesting work, fundamentally changing the way that we perceive what artists do and how that work gets completed. Now, for me in my work, it was really NFTs that triggered a lot of this for me. When NFTs really started to become a solid thing, back when it was a solid thing, that got me really interested in really taking a step forward from my old style to something that incorporates a broader selection of technologies. I had a new space to work in. I had something that manages that provenance and metadata better than my QR code could do. And I was introduced to a wide spectrum of digital approaches, from generative art to AI art to you name it. All the tools that are available becomes really important to me as a means of being able to blend into my work while still trying to figure out how do I put my human touch on it? How do I put that artistic fingerprint and maintain my style, maintain what my art is about, and so on. I know that there's a lot of different opinions of whether or not AI constitutes fine art, or even whether or not algorithms, generative programs, or other computing tools really belong within that fine art space. I, for one, am a big proponent of that. But more importantly, I think that it's a natural evolution of the way art progresses over time. As artists, we are seeing that our jobs are changing in the exact same way that everyone across all industries are seeing that their work change fundamentally because of the technology and the tools that are being made available. From an artist's perspective, I think it becomes really close to the surface. It becomes really obvious about how do we actually change the way that we do our work? How do we be creative? How do we take the tools that are made available and apply it in new and different ways? Now, partly because of the sort of complaints and opinions and gripes and protests about what constitutes fine arts that have been happening over the last few years, for me personally, I felt like I've been getting more and more ingrained in this idea that mixing and matching digital tools together, still having a thumbprint of the artist in the work, becomes fundamentally important to sort of creating something that is interesting and relatable to my audience, but at the same time is still advancing in ways that we've seen art progress over the generations, over the decades, over the centuries, from photography in the Impressionist time to egg tempera in the Renaissance. Technology has always been a major influence on the direction of where art goes. And what I'm hoping to get across in this particular presentation is partly to tell my story, partly to be able to say what it's like for an artist going through this fundamental shift. But at the same time, what I'm hoping for is that that becomes relatable to whatever industry you're in, whatever industry, whatever job that is being influenced or impacted by technology, AI, or other computing terms. Hopefully that what I've been experiencing and what I can relate in this presentation will be meaningful to you, and you'll be able to see how creativity and fundamentally innovation and efficiency are all improved by harnessing and really understanding the technologies that go into your job, but also the ability for the human experience to really still flesh out through that as well. So I'm really excited to be able to give this presentation. I hope that you vote for my session, and I will see you in Austin sometime soon. Thanks.